Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
They announced it?
Yeah.
That you got traded?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go look at all that.
Traded.
I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
I'm going to start with you here, Caitlin. You said you might be aggressive on the trade market once this opened up. Is there any player that you're looking to get to? And remember, it has to be apples to apples trade here. Starter for starter, reserve for reserve. The good news is you can't go wrong with this type of talent. Anyone looking to make a deal here?
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is just days away, but we finally know who's going to be on Team Caitlin Clark and Team Napheesa Collier. Let's get into these names. Off the top, it's Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, teammates. Then you got Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, teammates. Hello, rookies. Then there's some top-tier choices in Asia Wilson and Gabby Williams, which is a sneaky good pick. One more special twist for this event. The coaches have been swapped. That's right. Cheryl Reeve is now coaching Team Collier, and Sandy Brondello is now coaching Team Clark.
Fell through at the last minute. Are you guys going to make any deals or bets on the game between teammates, or what's that going to be like to be foes for a day?
It'll be weird. Maybe we'll just allow each other to trade off baskets and shoot. But no, I mean, the All-Star Game's always fun. It's not that competitive, and it's just kind of you get to go out there, enjoy, have fun, and just kind of celebrate the accomplishments. So I'm excited for all of us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa.
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Fee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star Game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Kayla.
In the end, this was so much more than a funny all-star moment. It was a declaration. With one move, Caitlin Clark settled an old score with Cheryl Reeve, sent a not-so-subtle message to her current coach, and put the entire league on notice. She is done being disrespected, done being mishandled, and done playing by anyone's rules but her own. The takeover is complete. The old guard has been officially warned. The WNBA doesn't just have a new superstar, it has a new boss, and she's just getting started.
All right, so after the teams were chosen, a surprise moment happened. Now, of course, I'm still feeling it because I was two off, man. Two off from picking the entire two teams, but it's all good, man. I'm not tripping. Now, at the end, a trade proposal was capable of happening, right? Now, when I was looking at the rules at the beginning, I was like, dang, they could trade? So that portion of the whole draft happened. And I'm like, dang, who are they going to trade? I wouldn't trade anybody. And of course, Caitlin came up saying, I'm fine. I wouldn't trade anybody. But we can trade these coaches.
And that brings us back to Sabrina Ionescu, whose face told the entire story of the WNBA in that moment. As Clark made her move, Sabrina went through a full system reboot, and you could see every stage of it on her face. First came the squint of disbelief, her brain trying to process the raw data of what she just heard. Then her eyes widened in shock as she realized that Clark was serious. Finally, her hands went to her head in a gesture of pure, unadulterated awe, her jaw practically on the floor. It was peak "this is fine" meme energy, except the room was actually on fire. Her imagined internal monologue must have been glorious. Wait, did she just... Is that allowed? Who does that? Oh my god, she did do that. In that moment, Sabrina wasn't an all-star competitor. She was a fan in the front row, watching a legend be born. Her priceless reaction captured the feeling of the entire league, a mix of shock, admiration, and the dawning realization that they are all just living in Caitlin Clark's world now.
At the end of the draft, Caitlin and Fee had the option to trade any players, but instead of players, Caitlin said that she wanted to trade coaches. Originally, Cheryl Reeve was supposed to be coaching Team Clark, and Sandy Brondello was going to be coaching Nafisa's team. But Caitlin said, nah, let's switch. Fee, you can have your coach. But there might be something deeper. Wonder if Caitlin has been keeping receipts of some of the things that Coach Cheryl Reeve had to say about her, including this little Twitter exchange that happened last year. They were tweeting about the preseason game and that the links weren't being televised. Somebody said, is there a reason why it's not being shown? Another user said, because they only care about Caitlin, and Cheryl Reeve responded, that part. Since fans have been calling her out about this last year and also this year.
Naturally, the league just had to roll with it. This was the ultimate power play. Clark didn't ask for permission. She announced her decision as a fact, and the WNBA blinked. In that moment, it became clear who holds the real power. They had to pretend this was all part of the fun, like, of course the second-year player gets to handpick her own coach. We planned this all along. Please. This wasn't a negotiation. It was a hostile takeover, and the league executives were just bystanders watching it happen. Clark didn't just throw a wrench in the machine. She dismantled it on live television, proving that her influence now outweighs any established protocol or veteran coach's legacy. She exposed the league's dependence on her in the most public way possible.
The WNBA All-Star rosters are officially set, and this live was crazier than you could have even imagined, because what do you mean halfway through they just decided to switch coaches? Not trade teams, trade coaches. So they went back and forth. Caitlin Clark got the first pick, Collier got the second pick. She picked Aaliyah Boston, then she picked Stewie. Then she picked Sabrina, then she picked Alicia Gray.
This trade was also a desperate, temporary escape from a frustrating situation back in Indiana. Let's be honest, the coaching she's getting from the Fever's Stephanie White is a masterclass in how to misuse a generational talent. The situation is like being handed the keys to a brand new Ferrari and being told to drive it 20 miles per hour in a school zone while bragging about the gas mileage. It's an act of basketball violence. White has been coaching Clark like she's a 3-and-D specialist from 2004, sticking her in the corner to run off screens while the offense revolves around inefficient post-ups in a glacial pace. Fans didn't tune in to watch Caitlin Clark, a player who thrives on pace and space, become a glorified decoy. They came for fireworks. Instead, they're getting fire drills. So, when Clark had the chance to trade for Sandy Brondello, a championship-winning coach who actually knows how to build an offense around superstars, she didn't just take it, she seized it. It was a public indictment of the coaching she's been enduring all season, a cry for help disguised as a power move.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media.
But this wasn't just a diva moment. It was a calculated act of revenge born from months of simmering disrespect. To understand the cold-blooded nature of this trade, you have to know the toxic history between Clark and the coach she just fired on national TV, Cheryl Reeve. Reeve wasn't just some committee member involved in the 2024 Olympic snub. She was the head coach of Team USA. She was the architect of the decision to leave the most popular and electrifying basketball player on the planet off the roster, a move that cost USA basketball millions in potential viewership. But the venom ran deeper than one decision. For months, Reeve acted as the unofficial gatekeeper of the old guard, taking passive-aggressive shots at Clark on social media. She'd reply to fan comments critical of Clark's media attention with a simple yet telling, "that part." It was a clear pattern of a veteran trying to diminish the very player who was revolutionizing her sport. Clark kept every single receipt, and the All-Star Draft was her time to cash them in with interest.
Oh, Dairy Queen, that's Caitlin's nickname for those of us in the know. She's like, look, I'm going to do you a solid. We all know my coach absolutely hates you. It's going to be a terrible, terrible experience for you. You have so much on your shoulders as it is, all the hate that you get, all the pressure to grow the league. And I don't want you to have to deal with all that for your All-Star weekend as well. So, of course, being her star player, I've got her wrapped around my finger. I can deal with all that. She's not going to give me any of that crap. So why don't we just straight up trade coaches?
The heist went down on live television. During the All-Star draft, the host turned to Caitlyn and asked if she was looking to make a trade. With the calm confidence of a CEO closing a hostile takeover, Clark delivered a line that will go down in WNBA history. To be completely honest, I love my team. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. The audacity was breathtaking. In one sentence, she dismissed the league's plans, hijacked the broadcast, and made her own rules, all with a slight smirk that said, "Try and stop me."
I don't know if this is allowed, but this is what we're going to do. We decided, meaning the two of them decided amongst the two of them, that they were also going to trade coaches. So now, Sandy Brondello is the coach of Team Clark, and Cheryl Reeve is the coach of Team Collier. So then, Clark is like, let's make it interesting. I've got Sabrina. I think Sandy's going to want Stewie. What do you want for Stewie? We'll trade, because trades are allowed. Nafisa says, what do you got to offer? She's like, I can give you Satu. And she's like, no, I don't think so. If I'm giving up my first pick, I want your first pick. I want Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark says,
despite dominating fan votes and receiving a record-setting number of fan votes, Caitlin Clark was only voted 9th in guards across the league by WNBA players for the WNBA All-Star Game. Now, she is going to be a captain in this year's All-Star Game, which is amazing as just a second-year player, but let that sink in for a second. She was voted first in fan votes, the most fan votes of all time for a player, and only voted as the 9th best guard in the league amongst players. That's insane.
You are not ready for this one. Sabrina Ionescu just saw Caitlin Clark pull off the most ridiculous all-star move in history, and her reaction was part confusion, part awe, and 100% meme-worthy. We're talking jaw on the floor, blink twice if you saw that right energy. Did Clark just rewrite the WNBA rulebook mid-game? And did Sabrina just realize she's a supporting character in the Caitlyn cinematic universe? Buckle up, because to understand why a fellow superstar visibly malfunctioned on live television, you have to witness the power play that broke the All-Star game.